You already know who this is. It's Kurt King, sitting here with my two best friends in the world, Nathan Jackson, Saint Icky, Ickabod to the...
Yo, you already know.
I could keep going, but I ain't got time for that shit. It's after hours. And we got another family member as a guest today out from behind the camera. We got JimmyITK.
What up?
He's going to talk about his projects. And we got Evan ITB in the brewery, in the bag.
Oh, I thought you were going to say.
Go crazy.
He's on the camera today, holding it down.
ITB.
I thought you was going to say in the bathroom.
That's a triple entendre now. I should have been on the album, Jimmy. See?
Next one.
Don't sleep on my
We're
verses.
definitely having you name the next one.
Yeah, I got to get my royalties off something. Mortgage keep hitting every month. Bullshit, man.
But hell yeah.
We
It's
appreciate
good.
you switching sides.
Yeah, I was going to say it's good that people actually get to see you, man, because this the dude that been bringing all the video, all the Instagram content is coming from my man, Jimmy in the kitchen.
Lurking in the shadows.
But like what people don't know is that Jimmy is actually like a extremely talented producer, yo. He be making shit that be blowing me away for real,
Thanks,
yo.
man.
Yeah,
I
it's
appreciate
nuts,
that.
dude. Big congrats on the project, dog.
Thanks, man.
Seriously.
It's,
It's so good, dude.
It is a fucking huge weight lifted from my shoulders.
Yeah, I know you were working your
to be,
fucking ass
like
off, man.
crossing the threshold of it being available publicly. It's I don't know, man. It's been a journey. It's always a journey trying to compile a body of work and put it out in a cohesive fashion. And I think every time we, like, as artists go into it, like, thinking of all the fun parts of it, but it really becomes like an emotionally taxing
For real,
situation,
bro.
at least in the last leg of it, you know, because it's like, it's almost like giving birth. Like, you've spent all this time with this thing and it's been yours for so long, and then you have to just like let it go and release it to the world. And
for real, like that's why when Lil Nas had that photo shoot where he was pregnant when his album was gonna come out, I was like, I get it for real. That's literally what it be feeling like.
Yeah.
So for the people that don't know, Jimmy, it'll be out before this episode come out. But at midnight tonight, Jimmy's project is dropping. It's called No Coast.
Yes,
And
sir.
it's a compilation of like a hella niggas from the city, hella niggas that you put me on that I realized was hard as fuck.
Hell yeah. I mean, I'll be honest and say that, like, you know, the album was definitely made possible from, like, you know, me coming on with you guys, and I met so many people on this project through the podcast, you know.
Yeah,
from,
that's why I'm fucking salty, bro. And like, I'll let y'all know, Saint Icky would have been on this project if Saint Icky would have had his like cards or like in the right spot. I definitely dropped the ball and didn't finish my song in time, man.
We still got the song in the tank.
we still
though,
got the song in the tank.
It'll be out at some point.
I mean, the deluxe is coming or something.
Yeah, we'll have to hit him with the deluxe.
Oh, you got
gotta
to.
do the dog.
You
I don't
gotta
know.
hit him with
Let
a
me
dog.
give it up.
Hit him with that dirt, yo. Just hit him with
Let me
40 tracks real quick.
This is all cap.
I'm gonna start it with that too.
This deluxe is all cap.
Funny as fuck.
Yo, so when did you very first start working on this project?
I mean, it's hard to say because some of the tracks were made, you know, a lot of it was like made without the intention of it being a cohesive project, you know?
Okay.
So like, basically the way that it worked out to start becoming a project was I work with all these artists all the time. Sometimes it's for their projects. Sometimes we're doing collaborative projects. But I ended up having like 7 songs that were just, what the hell has he got going on?
Quincy Wildin'.
See, normally he's just barking, but he sounded like he was on some violence.
Is he
shit, for
beefing
real.
with Petunia? It's gotta be beef. Anyway, continue about your
But yeah, so like I ended up having like 5 to 7 tracks that were kind of just sitting on my hard drives that were like done and needed to do something with them. So, you know, I kind of just snowballed into an idea of like, you know, I should put these together into a project. So I had about 5, knew that I wanted to do somewhere between 13 and 15, and then just started building things to like turn it into a cohesive idea, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times that's the way it happened. At least I know from like me, like putting shit together is that like I just had like 8 songs, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And like it don't become a real thing until you actually put them bitches in a playlist together.
Exactly.
Cause like I'll have them all on like my cloud. You know what I'm saying? I'll listen to them through there, but as soon as I put them in a playlist and I put it into my Apple Music, that's when it really become a project. You feel me?
Yeah, so the oldest one, to answer your question, is probably like a year and a couple months old.
Yeah, so with that, like you commented on, you gained a lot of people on the project through meeting them at the podcast, and I feel like the other people you were building with are people you really tap in with.
Definitely.
How did you make any conscious moves to bring all these people you barely knew into the project and make it fit into the puzzle?
So what's interesting is like a lot of the workflow of this project, I had like, so sometimes 90% of the work that I do, like when I'm working with somebody, will be me building something from scratch together in the room for them to rap on. But I also had like a handful of sketches of like, whether it was just like 8 bars or like a loop or something that I had chopped. So like for Jose Franco, like he came in and I played him some beats and he like picked one that I had already started building, you know? So like I had kind of the beats that I felt like were gonna be on the project, and a lot of it cohesively worked out when I was meeting new people to be like, hey, do any of these work for you? And it just so happened to like work out where the people fucked with the beats that I was chopping out to them.
That's the best way to go about it for real. It's like already have like your skeleton and shit, because like once the beat is done, before the artists get on there, like when the artists get on there, it turns into a completely different song.
Definitely.
For real.
And I'm definitely big about it being like a living, breathing thing. Like I'm not very much one to just be like, okay, that's the verse, I'm gonna copy it and put it on the next one. I mean, like within reason, I kind of do that to like build where I'm going, but I like there to be nuances between all the pieces, you know? So I think that's why I enjoy building from scratch with people so much, is like, I want to create this thing that happens. I don't really want to present you like a basically finished idea and then expect you to like make something happen.
That's some producer talk though, yo.
Yeah,
that's some
you're
shit.
you're not a beat maker.
And most, yeah, like most
you are a
rappers that I
producer,
know, like
like-
hate that
No,
shit.
but like,
They're like,
no.
no, I want to track 7 tracks today, and I'm like, nah, bro,
That's
we're
what,
gonna get one. That's crazy.
That's what I was gonna say. That's some That's what producers will say to you. Producers will say, "I want you to come in and like build some shit." Rappers, I just say, "I want you to send me the beat."
100%.
So I could cut. I'm sure like mad niggas be like, "You just can't send me the beats and shit."
Oh, like,
Yeah, I was gonna-
like most people when I first meet them are like, yeah, just like drop me a beat pack, and I always gotta be like, I really.
You know why?
don't.
You know why? Because niggas be embarrassed, man. They don't know what they don't know what they finna come in there with. They be like you want to come in and present yourself as hard.
Yeah, I
You know what I'm
understand
saying?
that. And my thing as a producer is like, I almost like am on a mission to make you fucking uncomfortable, to make something happen that you didn't.
Yeah, see, y'all
Yeah, I
right
feel
now.
was
like
gonna happen.
every single song on that brought the best out of each of those
You
artists.
have to, you know, and that's why I like
know
to
what I
build
mean?
from scratch with people, is because I want to tailor it to who you are. Like when you build something together, there's like this. Music is like taking this moment in time, you know, and synthesizing it into this like time capsule that, like, you know, we're all really into music, obviously.
Yeah.
We live with albums in a way that like a lot of people maybe don't, you know? So like I can notch out times of my life in albums. And it's like, you know, I listen to Blonde, and there's like, sometimes it's hard to listen to that record because it's like I'm fucking back in the room that I was in when that dropped. You know what I mean? Like tumultuous times of my life, beautiful times
Brings
of my
you
life.
right back to that place.
Yeah, and
you
it's
know what
like,
I mean?
but that's the amazing thing about music to me, is like when you can synthesize the moment and put it into a song, you create something timeless that's gonna be more than just like another fucking like crazy 808 beat and you saying the same shit in a Pooh Shiesty mask that everybody's been saying.
I think there's a
What a wild
there's
example.
a whole ass logic to this though, and if you think about it, it'll just make sense. What comes with these moments you're talking about is the luxury of time. When you actually get involved in the music industry and that's your job and your monetary like value, you don't have time to be like, come sit with me. If you're an IT producer and somebody wants a pack, you gotta send a fucking pack out.
Definitely.
Because you have a very moment in time where your shit's gonna be hidden. So you're just all talking about like luxury of time where Frank Ocean, he's such a big artist, he can take his fucking time.
Literally.
He can go sit and create this thing where if you're Pooh Shiesty, the label's like, we need this shit now because this is your moment. And if you want to sit on it, then sit on it. That's when you got to start mailing verses and beats because they don't have the luxury of like, oh, meet me at the studio and let's just hang out for a little bit. They got shit to do, you know? Like right now, like Dirk is on fire, but he's going to be on fire for maybe one more year. And then
You
he'll
think
go back
so?
to being Dirk.
Nah, I don't know, man, because I thought that wouldn't be the first time I thought that about Dirk.
Yeah.
He came and
I mean, I think that-
elevated.
We're also talking about Dirk, who got dropped by a major because he wasn't doing major shit.
Yeah.
You know, he got dropped by Def Jam like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
it
know,
goes
like-
pretty deep though. Like I think it's you could debate that, you know, auto-tune was popularized forcibly by the industry just based on the fact that you can send an artist into the studio and rather than having to spend 2 days tracking vocals and comping vocals, you can just bang out 3 tracks in a day, because when you standardize the sound of pitch corrected vocals that are like the imperfection actually makes the effect more drastic, you're able to cut out all that time that they were having people spend making records. And it's like, you know, just think about the cash cow that rappers are to labels. Rappers love to go into the studio and be like, yeah, we made 10 songs.
That's such a weird
Yeah.
trend.
And 8,
Like,
9 of them bitches will be
ass cheeks.
No, for real.
and
Oh God, for real.
Super ass.
but like I think that there's this like thing that happens in the industry where like I see a lot of shit now where it's like the song will be whack, bro, but it'll do like 10,000 plays because the song that they put out before was like decent. So like the labels stopped really caring about the quality of the music and they just care that it hits for that initial, you know what I mean? So I think which is like the reason why the industry gets so oversaturated is because it just gets diluted from so much content being put out at all times.
Yeah, also, like, a lot of times when they do those songs, like, all 9 of those songs that they did that night are the same song.
I mean, most, like, I just don't, like, everybody that becomes a producer, like, why would you want to do it if you're just going to make the beats that, like, Hit Boy's already making or whatever?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
once something becomes your job, though, it totally changes for you. When it's like your real job that's your whole monetary income, you know?
Yeah.
You can't be like unique anymore, or you can't make those choices because you're really eating off that shit.
Definitely.
When you're doing 10 other things and some things your passion, you're going to put way more passion into it. When something becomes your job, it changes its dynamic. You got to eat off that
Yeah,
shit.
yo, like-
so you can't make pure choices anymore. You're like, yo, I need to get this money.
for sure.
So you'll do fuck shit. Be like, damn, I need this bag.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think it's largely nested in like what route you take too, you know, because like in terms of like what is considered a producer now, most people hear that and without really realizing they hear beat maker.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
Dr. Dre to me is like a producer, you know? It's being in the room saying, you know, I think you could say that better. It's not like me just like handing you a beat. Like that's one step of the process, sure, but like executive production is like really like if I was to land anywhere, like that's where I'd want to be, like the bigger picture. And like I think that shit is just like so amazing.
That's kind of one thing I've always been like a little curious about. Maybe you can like touch on it. I've never really understood fully what an executive producer's job is.
So essentially what an executive producer is you could think of them just like as a manager, like a project manager.
Okay.
So it's the guy that sits at the end of the table and is like, okay, what's the album artwork look like? What's the song sound like? I think like this song doesn't really feel like it fits the album. It's the guy thinking of the whole package, you know? It's
Okay.
not necessarily exclusively the music or exclusively the artwork or exclusively like the rollout plan. It's the entire big picture, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So like thinking about like when you see like rappers and shit, like executive producing people's shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Kanye executive producing Future shit.
Yeah,
okay.
it's
So-
like it's the whole vision, the conceptualization of the vision of the project.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's-
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
I was just like not so clear. You know?
No, I'm sure a lot of people ain't never really thought about that shit for real.
Yeah.
But
That's a hell of a position to be in, man.
It's fire though, man.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
fucking very sick.
especially for me, like that's really what I'm into because you know, I think Perry and I are very similar in that we started playing shows and shit when we were like 14, 15 years old, and it was like, oh, I need flyers. So I downloaded Photoshop illegally and fucking learned how to make flyers.
Yeah,
and
yo.
then I needed a website, so I fucking figured out how to use
Yeah, yo.
GeoCities
Holy shit,
and like make a drag and drop website, which
Yeah.
eventually
Yeah.
shifted into like MySpace and starting to learn like HTML.
yeah,
and then it was like,
I was trapped in MySpace.
yeah,
There
oh,
was
I
a
need my
time-
own pictures and videos. I can film myself. And just figuring it out. And like eventually all of these pieces, you know, 15, 20 years later, you're like, oh
in
shit.
that time period,
they all
like,
kind of come together at the same time.
in that time
you know what I'm
period, like when YouTube and shit was first coming out, you talking about like when we was like 17, 18, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we were in the thick of that shit.
It was other niggas doing it for real. And like it making me be like, why I can't do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's when the bass guy was shooting shit.
The bass guy was going crazy.
He was going
super
crazy,
nuts,
bro.
dude.
And it was just like, damn, like I could shoot my own video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like I could make my own beat.
Yeah, so I really just took all of that and was like, hey, I should do this for other people. So like for me, it's like, hey, if you need somebody who's got you from conceptualization to making the song, to shooting the video, to taking the picture, to packaging it, to rolling it out, I fucking have you 100% of the way. Whether you need me to personally do all of it or to help you coordinate people and put them in the light to do it.
100%.
So like that's my passion. Is I just like to bring art to life, you know? Because I know as artists, like if I live with my shit for long enough on a long enough timeline, I hate it all and I never put it out.
Yup.
100%.
Well, the best artists are the people that know when it's time to cut it and put it out.
Yeah,
Because the more you look at something, you'll just overproduce it. And you'll
100%.
think you need to add shit.
And then you'll hate it.
I always tell motherfuckers like, this is like some shit that school prepares you for. It's a due date on this motherfucker, and you just turn that bitch in. At a certain point, you just got to turn that bitch in.
Setting the date is everything.
I would say this is the reason why when we was writing papers when we was in school, they said this shit was due on this day to prepare us for shit like this. For real.
Yeah.
Cause like eventually, cause if you sit on that shit, like it's definitely songs I'll be sitting on for years for real.
Definitely. And then,
And then
you
by the
know,
time
yeah.
And like no, it's fucked up because it ends up being your favorite song at the time that you want to save until you can do it right.
And then it's antiquated by the time you.
And then
Exactly what I was
by
gonna
the
say.
time you
Yeah.
trying to put it out, you
It's
didn't
dead.
get better shit.
Yeah.
And so it ended up being your favorite songs you missed out on.
Yeah, I think as artists, we need at least somebody in our life that we trust to be like, no, dude, it's done.
Yeah, no 100%.
Like, because sometimes we can't make that call for ourselves because, like, I don't know, man. I think it depends, like, if you're, like, I think some people are really good at, like, making art that's designed to part ways with, you know, in terms of, like, physical mediums. I'm not a painter. It's crazy for me to think about making a one of one and, like, sell that permanently to where it's, like, not mine anymore.
not yours anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, like-
especially with painting, there's so many hours and layers, and
Yeah.
you can look at a painting, and if you're looking at it from your perspective of 4 feet away from it, you could always find, I need to tighten this up, I need to do this.
Exactly.
But you got to learn when to let go and just let it
Yeah.
be. But that's freeing for your mind as well, because then you can finally move on to the next thing in your mind.
Definitely.
Because overhyping shit in your mind will just drive you fucking crazy.
And
Sometimes
then
you
like
gotta let it go.
another thing is that like yo, like when you drop more, like there's nothing better than the excitement of drop day. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you feeling it right now, like you can't wait.
I mean, it's been a while since I've released anything like officially under my name, and that's like a big situation. So like for me, the feeling that I'm relating it more to is definitely relief because I mean, I think
But look, bro, I'm telling you, wait till it drop, cause like once
then
it,
I'm gonna be once it's out, I'm
once
gonna be
it drop
smooth.
and niggas start hitting you up and shit,
I mean
and
that
saying they see what you talking about, even if it's just even if it's just 5 people to hit you up, bro, that
100%.
shit do something for your spirit for
Yeah,
real, that make
dude.
you want to keep on doing it for real,
for sure.
And like like motherfuckers be scared to drop because they feel like it's not gonna do what they want to do, but it's like when those motherfuckers hit you up and shit,
yeah.
it
I
make-
mean,
I can't wait.
I always tell my artists it's a tumultuous experience to drop music. You will be both excited and disappointed.
yeah.
I think your expectations get more realistic over time, but like every time leading up to a release, I'm always just like, man, I don't know if anybody's gonna listen to this. And then when it drops, you know, the pressure of that is gone.
Yeah.
And I mean, the hardest part for me of like putting out art is like, I'm very much so like a true artist in the sense of like my art to me is not a thing that I was ever like, I'm gonna be a fucking musician, I'm gonna make art. And like it worked out that way, but it was like a thing that I have to do. Like I made a decision to like not be medicated for like having like bipolar and shit when I was younger, and like my creativity is very synonymous with my sanity at this point.
God,
you know
bro.
what I mean? If I don't create, I'm not in a good place. And if I don't like feed into that, it creates problems, you know. But
Bro.
sometimes because of that, it's hard to tell if the art happens because the disorder, or if the disorder happens because of the art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
I definitely lean into the wave, and like I love my girlfriend Cassie because she deals with all the aspects of it. You know, I think to date,
Shout out to Cassie.
to
Shout
be
out, Cass.
to be with someone who is an artist, it's not always easy. You know, I would say that like it would not be unfair for me to say that like I am tortured by my art in a certain way, you know, because it's such a fucking conviction that you like. It keeps me up at night, you know, like I have to do it, and I don't know how to stop going.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about art. Like you were saying, you can look at a painting forever and there's always something to do to it.
Yeah.
You're never done.
Yeah.
So like when I'm in like album mode, that's like sometimes a scary situation to be in, because I will like unintentionally just like push myself to my physical and mental limits. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you, yo, because there's very few things that like the things that I do for my music and shit. There's very few other things that I would ever do that shit for. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is lit. Like when I say it's like therapeutic, in a sense that like when I'm not making music, like when I've gone months without being on a month or two without being on the computer, yo, I be feeling like my life fucked up for real.
And it'll take you a second to realize why you feel fucked.
Yeah, yo, I wouldn't
You'll
even
be
really
like,
know,
I don't
really
know, like
why.
I'm just not feeling myself. Like
Yeah,
every
yo.
day feels like it's fucking cloudy in my mind, and I'll be like,
Damn.
"Hey,
But
man."
like as soon as I make that song, I'm super excited about it. I'm listening to it on my phone. Everywhere I'm going, I'm trying to listen to it. You know what I'm saying?
Show your friends. And
Everywhere I go, I'm
it's just like a
talking about
serotonin boost, honestly.
Yeah,
You
yo,
know what I
it
mean?
literally like keep me going for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
I
that
love that.
I think that like as musicians though, that like especially lyricists, I think that that's like our bloodletting though, you know? Because like lots of times I'll write a song and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about until like years later, because it's like my subconscious communication with myself of like shit that I'm not even really like deciphering
for real.
on an external level.
Bro,
It'd be like
you know?
very
Like,
honest word vomit.
it's like
you know what I mean?
cathartic.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
I've
that's
literally,
important.
like I literally be thinking about that shit. I will go back and like listen to like some old music that I made, and like it really don't be about like what I said. Like I said some bullshit, but like I would describe it in a way that was like that let you know how I was feeling in my life type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the word I used to decide to tell y'all I was balling, but I used a word that was like associated with this. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
That'd be like the deeper part of like when niggas be writing their music that like people don't see for real. Unless you
100%.
are like a fan of that artist. They like Easter eggs for real. Like you know what I'm saying? Or like I don't know, the motherfucker I compared myself to, that's who I was feeling like, but I just compared it on some
Like on a deeper level.
yeah, like on some
not-
regular shit. Like I say, I
Exactly.
was Saint Icky, and then insert random name here. But like
Yeah.
whoever, like I'll be going back listening to my music. I'm like, oh yeah, I said him because I was feeling like that motherfucker. When, you know what I'm saying? Art, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
But,
I feel like it goes both ways. Like you were to circle back to what you were saying with people that want to be with artists. It's definitely different if you're with an artist that's made it or an artist that's trying to make it. And I also feel like they still see things through like different lenses. Where you want to be with someone because you think they're tight, but then when you see the inner workings of it, it doesn't seem all that tight. But people get it really confused and start to think they're bound to it. Like, oh, I just got to put up with this. At the end of the day, you don't have to put up with anything. Like, you're free to go. And people they forget that and think they're so. And now I'm not talking about everyone. People are more adaptable than others. But some people feel like I'm trapped in this situation. You can just go. You know, that's the whole. People always think that's not like an outlet anymore, or like a thing.
I think that artists have an inadvertent way of bringing you into the world that they create in their head, though.
Yeah, but it's artists and people that other people are drawn to. If people are drawn to you, it's probably for a reason of things you do in your personality, and they perceive it in their own way, and that's what they're drawn to.
Yeah.
And when they see the reality of it, they're like, oh, I don't like this, and I don't like this, and I don't like this. And you're like, well, these are all these things that have been a part of my life, so maybe you should like reassess how you feel about these things.
Literally
You know,
story of my life, for real, yo. Literally story of my entire life.
it's like
for
the
real.
girl that wants to be with the dude, like the super cool dude that can take you to all the parties, and then when they don't feel like partying anymore, they're like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing it was when you signed up for it.
Yeah, yo.
100%.
Post-cum clarity.
Go crazy.
That's a whole different thing. You're like, I should have just hit Pornhub. I'll just be by myself.
Crazy.
For real.
Comparable, you know what I mean?
It'll make you feel like that. And then, like,
She's like, you ordering food? Like, this is Uber. Like, you're about to dip. This ain't Uber.
but no, it be.
Man.
It really be like that for real, because like a lot of motherfuckers are artists because cause you fucking weird for real. Like you know what I'm saying? I do different shit than like a normal person would do.
I mean, I think that the people that are willing to get weird are the people that will probably end up being successful, because you need to be able to, like, it's not specifically the getting weird that makes you able to create shit.
Not really
it's the
getting
fact
weird.
that it's like being an actor. It's like exposing yourself and being willing to challenge yourself and like embody a character. That's what's cool about music, is you're like embodying a character at all times. Even if you're speaking as yourself in song, you're really still embodying a character.
Exactly, for real. Like you already know me. I'll say Ick for real. You know what I'm saying? Like. But it's everything that I stand for, everything that I fuck with. You know what I'm saying? That's what your character is like, dope for real.
Definitely.
When it's like, it's literally everything that you stand behind.
And I feel like you guys are both great at keeping it consistent with that.
No.
On that tip, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yo, and I'm just gonna say like some of the shit I rap about there, that's what I stand behind. Like that's what I be on. And like a normal person, a lot of times don't realize that when they try to like make a connection with me, it's real. That's like, this is really what I'm about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of motherfuckers just be rapping just
Perry
to rap.
just pull up, I'd love you if you was a prostitute. Love it.
Great song, lovely song.
Lovely.
Go check that one out for real. So Jimmy, like I originally like met Jimmy. Like I ain't meet you, but like our connections, like our roots are like the same. You know what I'm saying? We grew up playing. We like hardcore shows in the south suburbs and shit.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Definitely a lot of that shit.
yeah, G.
A
So
lot of emo shows.
bring the people through your past, Jimmy, so they can know how you got to this point. For
All
real.
right, cool. So I grew up in like the south suburbs, like Joliet. I mean, I guess that's not like super south, but in terms of like what
Chicago.
What I would consider Chicagoland, it's pretty far south. So I came up in like the local scene out there, which met in the middle somewhere with the same local scene that you were at, because it stretched all the way to like Tinley Park, Mokina, Orland Park, Alsip, all that. So like, I don't know, man. We played all the like VFW halls until they kicked us out of that shit. I was in a band called Up From the Wormwood for a long time when I was like a kid, like 4 or 5 years. It started as a solo project, and then I just started doing stuff with.
Yeah, I actually
bunch of
never knew that.
homies.
I always wondered why your email was Wormwood.
Yeah. So yeah, we were doing like acoustic prog rock shit. It was like real weird, but like I don't know. I was playing the fuck out of the guitar and doing some interesting shit. So like I had a lot of fun with it. But yeah, so that pretty much carried me for like 10 years, you know, of songwriting and just playing through all the local spots and
Yeah,
shows.
shout out
and,
all the
like,
local spots too, the Mojos, the motherfucking Sound Labs.
Yeah, and it, you know,
The
it was
JT Music,
it was cool
some
to
shit.
see like the Sound Lab shows become like Beat Kitchen shows, and you know, you start doing shit at like House of Blues, and you know, I've built it one time, so like building it again on this side has been interesting to see, you know, and I'm grateful for the journey that we had on the way here, because I mean, like, the industry has changed so fucking much from the time that we started, and the community definitely was what inspired me to like push and keep making shit, you know, as grimy as it can be.
Hell yeah, like that shit like really taught me. That shit taught me like how to talk to people, like when you talking in terms of like your shows and shit, like
Yeah.
like that's what I realized. Like we should be getting paid. You know, like
100%.
Yeah, that shit will definitely condition you.
That shit, like,
100% promoting shows and shit sucks.
Yeah, like
having to pre-sell tickets.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. That,
Bro,
like, going
Like
through,
if you want to open for
going
Norma
through that
Jean,
shit,
you want to open for Norma Jean, you got to get 25 tickets off.
25,
Literally,
or they're
like
making us
80.
hit like 50, 60.
Yeah, I mean,
Jeez, swear to
and
God,
then-
yo,
and-
and like
and-
that shit made me like, I will never do that shit again. Somebody say that, like, even like still to this day, a motherfucker like try to pull that on me. I'm like, no, bro.
Full disclosure, because we would sell like what 60 to 100 tickets, and then at the end of the show they'd be like, "Oh, thanks, bro. Here's $200."
yeah, exactly.
Or-
Not love it.
I'm like, it's 6 people in my bed.
Them tickets were
We would be like, all right,
$20 a piece.
G,
The
we
fuck
would,
are you talking
G,
about?
we would play Mojos, bro. Fuck that nigga. I air it. Bro, we would play Mojos, nigga, and this
Who,
nigga,
Chris?
yeah, bro, with that dude with the Magnum, yeah.
Yeah.
That nigga would pull up, bro, and give us $200. I'd be like, all right, I guess we going to Steak and Shake, y'all.
And we still gonna have to pull out a pocket for the tip.
Yeah.
Looking crazy.
Yeah, yo, that shit was crazy for real. Yeah, that shit made me be like, I won't do that shit.
Yeah, I
no,
mean,
that's
once
fucking gross. You can't do
because of that, once we crossed the threshold, I was definitely like, yeah, we're only gonna fucking work with booking agents from now on because I just like can't do it anymore, man. Like the like weird skeezy underground. They're always all the guys that ran those venues back in the day were just all fucking underage girls. It was weird, bro.
It's so nuts
It
how
was
that's
weird.
like a thing.
No,
It's
big
weird.
facts. That's really big facts for real.
It
yo.
was
That's
weird.
crazy.
Niggas in the room shaking their head. Oh man. Yeah, cause like when you think about it, like y'all had this venue in the Birds. I can get a venue in the Birds.
Yeah, I wonder how much they were paying for the spot.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely not $20 a ticket for 150 kids. I'll tell you, that was a stain.
For real, dude.
They
That's
were
when the-
staining our
So
shit.
I just
out of
remember
pocket.
that's when the Dodge Magnum it first came out, and that nigga rolled up in the new
Jonathan
Magnum.
Teeter?
Yeah, oh, no,
Oh, my God.
Chris, the
Chris
Mojos
Treves, I
nigga.
think is his name.
I'm like, this nigga just pulled up in this new Magnum.
He's like,
And he
yeah.
paid us $200, man.
That is funny. Do you think playing different types of music and you just from knowing you being a fan of all different types of genres opens up your beat making style more?
Definitely. Because I'll definitely like fucking think of like a Coheed sample or some like
Tight.
weird, and some weird shit and throw it in a strange place, you know? And you'd never know what it is. I think the key to like being a good producer or music maker in general is just knowing more about music in general because there's so many different styles and time pockets and like schools of thought in music, you know? And I think that being able to like swerve in another direction and create something new out of something old is like the most fire part of producing to me. Like that's what really inspired me about like Dilla and Kanye of just like digging through records, you know? Like I want to start digging through records and shit and just finding like obscure things, you know? Because I think that's like so fire. I remember watching the video of like Ninth Wonder making the fucking Duckworth beat. Like,
Yeah,
Such
that's
a
what's heartbreaking about them coming down on sampling so hard.
Yeah.
Because when you'd be chilling and be at the grocery store or something, and you would hear a Dilla sample or some shit, you'd be like, "That's
Yeah.
fucking crazy." But now no
100%.
one's sampling because clearing that bitch costs more than you're gonna make off the song.
yeah.
So they're like, "Fuck it, man."
I've
But-
always felt. Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I've always felt like this has always been a thing. Like I've always felt like rappers and producers that come from like kind of like our upbringing, you know what I mean? Always have like a leg up. Honestly, like
Maybe creatively, not financially.
no,
Definitely
that's what I mean,
not
creatively.
financially.
Yeah.
That's what I mean
And,
creatively.
and it's
like,
only
I feel
if-
like they have an advantage, like you know what I mean.
No,
like
but
when
like-
it comes to performance, when it comes to
But like low key, like
I be
a lot of
overthinking shit though, to be honest with you.
I was gonna say that. Like,
But like Perry is gonna like Perry or Maddie, they're gonna play a show. Their energy is gonna be different from like a rapper. You know what I mean?
But like I was gonna say, a lot of niggas be hardcore kids. A lot of niggas be punk kids for
That's
that
what I'm
actually
saying.
like break. Like most of the niggas that break, they be knowing about some shit.
I
for
know.
real.
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like I've just always felt like you know
I mean,
when we
shout
cross
out-
into that world, we have a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah,
you know
you do,
what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, there's two different lanes, the people that break that were into punk and shit, you know, and they're kind of in their pocket.
Yeah.
Where
I mean,
I was just listening to Lloyd Banks talk about rapping, and he's like, yeah, I got signed when I was 17. And he's like, I'd never played a show before.
Yeah,
But
exactly. That's what I
when he
mean.
played a show, he was already Lloyd Banks. You know what I mean? And he was like, go do your thing. And he's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Like at 17, Perry was stage diving. Like
And
he's
then-
gonna approach.
like-
And
he's
even
gonna
if you
approach a show
weren't doing that,
differently.
you were at
You're
shows
gonna
seeing
approach a
it.
beat
Lloyd
different.
Banks
Yeah,
wasn't going to
yeah.
shows seeing dudes control the fucking room.
Yeah.
Unless he was going to see like not some weird shit like a Run DMC show. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he
it's crazy
like
to
he
think
was talking
about.
about people he'd seen before who he looked up to. He's like, I saw like Nas play. Nas ain't commanding a stage. He's giving you clear ass bars and
Yeah.
rapping his ass.
Yeah, I
off.
mean,
Yeah.
that's like a boring
But
show,
like
for real.
a lot of these niggas, like at least the niggas I fuck with, I feel like that make me fuck with you for real. If I know that you was,
The
if I
boring
could
show,
tell you was a
I'm
punk
there.
kid,
I'm here for the boring show.
I am too, low key.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
But you gotta deliver
Like,
it though.
Yeah.
You gotta really deliver it
It's
for
gotta,
real.
yeah, it's like this. It's like a
If
certain
you're
way it
really
cuts through. You
like,
know what
bro,
I mean?
if you got like no backing track and you are like rapping some of the craziest shit,
Nailing
like Benny.
Benny, Nell.
Yeah,
And when
Like,
Benny,
that's
bro,
fine. Like Benny
when
coming
Benny-
out and really rapping for like 45 minutes to
Yeah.
where like I love to watch somebody and being like, when is he breathing?
Yeah.
Benny cut the beat
Oh, the
off.
breath
He did
control
the
shit is like-
cutting the beat off.
He
and
did,
just
yeah,
going
he did the
crazy.
acapella, bro. I was captivated, bro.
Yeah,
That's
he
what
did,
I'm
he
saying,
did
like
5 to
that.
50 acapella and just bodied
fucking
it.
insane.
I'm sitting there like, damn, this nigga rapping for real. Like that's why I
That's
fuck with
what
that
I
shit.
love. You know
More
what
like
I mean?
a-
Like
For sure.
I seen. That's what made me really respect Danny Brown. I seen Danny
No,
Brown
he raps his fucking ass off,
come out
dude.
like he was whole for real.
Well, Danny Brown is like a whole
The breath
fucking
control
guy.
is out of this world.
No hype man rapping.
And you gotta also keep in mind that he's putting his voice at a higher
I love
pitch
that
too,
shit. Yeah.
which also tightens your shit up more.
Gibbs.
He's
So,
like he's really turned that off.
Freddie
fucking-
Gibbs did that shit. Freddie Gibbs did that shit. He had me captivated, low key, bro. Pause. Like we were coming down the stairs. We were coming down the. Gibbs had played, and I told Kurt, I was like, bro, this nigga, when I see this nigga Gibbs, I'm finna dap him up for real, because he just went crazy. We seen the nigga coming up the stairs. I was like, Gibbs, bro. Bro, you was rapping, bro.
What'd he
I love
say?
that shit. He was appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, dog.
Y'all know we picked a side on the pod. We can't be talking about Benny, bro. Benny.
I had to dap him up. I had to dap him up when I seen him, man. He
Don't
was
even.
too crazy. He was rapping too good. He was rapping too good for real.
No, his breath control is crazy, but like I said, we picked a side. We got to stay on the side.
Man, get the fuck out of here.
That's how this shit works. Well, shit, Jimmy, you might as well take us into the hot shit.
All right, so this one is with my boy Roy Kinsey. It's called "Revenge of the Flowers." It's one of the like 2 tracks that we didn't track the vocals in my bedroom. I actually went out to his place and did. Roy is an amazing songwriter, amazing lyricist, and he got like a story off that he was trying to tell on this one.
Let's go.
Make it shake like a ride up lake when you trail Texas plates that don't live in the state. Took the highway cause they know they in the state. I mean stay high cause they know well they in the state. In the army of the artists who you serve to innovate. In a portal, in a door, in a gate. What a moral but a way to instigate. What a mortal but a way to insulate. Internet just a way to imitate. I can't wait till everybody immigrate. Open markets, you are beautiful murals. Syringe and tent under the viaducts, plural. This where the baby come after the epidural. What happened when the dream on deferral? The villain was the neighborhood hero. The villain was the neighborhood hero. Revenge of the flowers that you let die. Crawl into your window at bedtime. My love balloons getting sent high. Revenge of the flowers that you let die. She carried a baby, but she not gonna keep it. Womb so polluted, babe, hooked in a fetus. What she going through? Needle, she be needing. Walking dead, never scared, blood splatter to the ceiling. Middle of the street, still sweat she look fine. Moving so fast, think she wasted no time. If you laying down with her, then she taking your time. Could've thought it out, but she paid it no mind. Hot spoon, burn the window seal of the restroom. Vein bubble up like the tech boom. Scratch the inside elbow to be blessed soon. Head nod, do a 360 like it's next June. Hand out, Harry hunt the money for the high. Every time, woo 50 cents you out your life. True originator, just do it for the gram. What you doing, baby? Legs moving like Dan. Brain fried, stupid, think he fluent with the scam. Shot it up as Kundalini once again. Said he only do it cause he need a little God, a little spirit, and I get it, though it's odd. I would never do it, but I'm not the one to judge. I have done some really silly, foolish things for love. All for a kiss, I put my lips on all the cups. They took the Negro spiritual and mixed it with the blood, that's
Revenge
love.
of the flowers that you let die, crawling to your window at bedtime. Mylar balloons getting sent high. Revenge of the flowers that you let die. Revenge of the flowers that you let die, crawling to your window at bedtime. Mylar balloons getting sent high. Revenge of the flowers that you let die.
Black Dynamite, I sell drugs to the community.
Comic book solutions to biblical problems. Nuclear times, juicier outcomes. Half hood when I'll zombie. Off more pills than Cosby. It's thriller and they naughty. It's drugs in they body. Off more pills than Cosby. It's thriller and they naughty. It's drugs in they body. It's drugs in they bodies.
Revenge of the flowers that you let die, crawling to your window at bedtime. Mylar balloons getting sent high. Revenge of the flowers.
That was our man, alum of the pod, family, Roy Kinsey, with Revenge of the Flowers off No Coast.
Hell
By
yeah.
the time you hear this, all DSPs, so tap into that shit.
Hell yeah. And big shout out to Roy, man. He playing Millennium Park on the 25th.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I'm going to be in
Sick.
that bitch. I'm finna go through, so come
Side
holler at him.
note, Roy make excellent tea for real.
Now he's tapped into that side of it himself, tea
he
making
look like
and
he
shit.
make
Yeah.
excellent
The
tea.
cool thing about
I
Roy
went
is he'll
to
make you
this-
some fire tea, but then he'll get fucking trashed with you and have a good ass time. It's cool when people have both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, I
you know?
just want the world to know, like, I went to Roy's house to make that song, and he made me some of the best tea I've ever had in my fucking life.
to kind of play up that a little bit, and this could be both. Don't think you have to pick one or the other. What was your intention with this project? To highlight these artists or to highlight you as a producer?
I think it was both, and I really wanted to highlight what is happening in Chicago. What really drew me to the production was, or I guess what like made it snowball was like, you know, working with SKO. When I started working with SKO and like Terry, they had just started making music.
Yeah.
So it was like pretty inspiring for me to like assist in someone falling in love with creating music. You know what I mean?
Well, you have a fresh slate too, like a clean
Yeah.
slate.
So like, I'm very much so not a school person. But that doesn't work for everybody. You know, I'm very much so like a self learner. Like I can read a book or watch a video, and that's good for me. And like when it comes to art, I guess my thought process is that like when you don't know what the rules are, you can't get trapped by them.
Yeah, I've tried to say this on so many pods. There are no fucking rules, so people need to
Yeah.
stop teaching shit like there's a rule.
Yeah, when you
With design,
don't create
fucking music,
yeah.
there
Do
shouldn't be
what the fuck
rules.
you want to do. It doesn't matter.
Not knowing the guidelines allows you to create a unique experience because, like, I think that, like, you know, obviously there are people that are tone deaf, but, like, you can fucking hear what sounds wrong. I mean, clearly some people can't.
But sometimes it does.
But-
Even if it's wrong, if it sounds good, it's fine. That's why I hate the technically music people that are like, his guitar is not like in tune. What do you mean? If it's fine, if it sounds good, it sounds good.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know unless you were informed of that before. You wouldn't even know what that was.
Yeah.
So you're not working off. You think these sounds sound cool. You're like, well, I was taught that it's tuned like this and it doesn't sound like that, so this isn't good.
Exactly.
What do you mean? What kind of
yeah.
logic is that? It's
Kinda-
skewed as fuck.
Kind of just like what he was saying is like in 2022, like technicality shit is over with. Like you will never like somebody because they're technically good at the guitar.
No, if they're
Like-
shredding.
Yeah, like at this.
Oh
point,
yeah, that shit is super dead now, dude.
'Cause it
that
is-
was a thing for a long time, dude.
What was
Because,
that
like-
one dude? Not to cut you off, I'm
Oh,
super
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead.
Who was that one dude that everyone thought was so sick back in the day?
Buckethead.
No, it was like this guitar player in fuck, what band was it? Was it Primus or something?
Yeah,
this
Les
dude is-
Claypool.
Yeah.
Well, he made
don't
the
even care
fucking-
about
what was
Les
the instrument he made?
Primus does have some slaps.
He made
though.
an instrument? What do you make?
It's called like a
the ukulele?
wamboni. No, it's like a one-string bass with a tension rod. at the top of it, so it's like just one string that you control the note that it's hitting by like a crank.
Well,
at the
Robert
top.
Smith used to play a 13-string guitar.
That's
He didn't make that video.
That just sounds
Fuck
like
What is that
Krane.
comparison?
When motherfuckers used to put extra strings on their guitars and
You
shit.
just said that because you like the gear.
It's like Meshuggah. They had like the
Yeah.
extra strings on their
Yeah.
beats and shit. but
then,
but I was gonna say like that technicality shit is over with because like literally if you a self learner, you can learn anything on YouTube for real. And like that's actually like a real skill because a lot of niggas don't know how to learn shit off YouTube.
I mean, it's pretty wild how much compounding amounts of information are out there on just about anything that you would be interested in. And to me, as someone who really thrives in like a self-learning environment or self-teaching, it's amazing for me because it's just like, oh, do you want to like develop a whole new skill set today or something? Because I obviously within reason, it
For
can't
real,
just be
it's just-
like, how do you build a
It's just that, like
spacecraft?
I be feeling like I didn't did like with like learning programs, for example. I didn't learn so many programs by myself that I'm confident that if you put something in front of me, I'll figure it out.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that, but, you know, I talk about this all the time, just even outside of music. Your, you know, perception is really your reality. But I think at some point in our lives, I don't know if it was like something my parents taught me or like something I ended up observing on my own. I just reached a threshold where I realized that nothing was like unsolvable. You just need to piece your way out of it, if that makes sense. So like it's a lot of we create a lot of roadblocks in our mind by telling ourselves things like this is impossible, it's too hard. Like I really don't believe in like complaining about some shit if you're not gonna do anything about it.
Dude, yes, seriously. We talk about this all the time.
And
I was just
think-
talking about it because my job situation.
Yeah.
I can't just sit here and bitch about my job when I'm not taking any action to,
Yeah.
to resolve the situation.
Yeah, because like I got 2 daughters that are young, so I'm like always like trying to pass this on to them of like, you know, if you're having a really hard day or if you're doing something challenging and you're like, oh, this is so hard, it doesn't make it any easier. It makes it harder because now you're like hyper focused on how difficult it is. You know what I mean? I think that like sometimes you just need to, you know, slow down for a second and think of plan and prepare new ways to. You just make one move every day.
Well,
to head in the
you just said
direction
it
that you
in
do,
there.
you
It's
know?
slow down. The thing is, we're subconsciously so pressed to do things so quickly that if you don't figure something out right away, you think I just don't understand this.
Exactly.
Because you're made to think you need to figure something out right the fuck away.
It's
When
hard to
you
have that
really
patience
don't.
sometimes, too.
Well,
It's hard not to
we're
be
the
impatient.
reason patience is getting shorter and shorter in the generations is
Yes.
it's like conditioning. It's
Well,
like, oh, you don't get
everything
it.
is
All right, just
instantly
whatever.
gratifying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that it's like I largely blame it on how advanced all of our technology is now.
1,000,000%.
Because like the processing power of our computers, like we can make shit that used to be like crazy happen instantly. So now my technology like fucks up like it all. Like my phone just like won't scroll for a second. Like as soon as it won't scroll, I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And I think that like sometimes we're just like unrealistic and impatient because all of our devices and technology have gotten to a point where it's like you're almost like thinking through shit. Like I took a screenshot of my computer today because I had like Illustrator, Media Encoder, Photoshop, Premiere, Dreamweaver, Logic, and After Effects all open at the same time.
like,
And
why
I
is
was
it-
like actively swapping back and forth between all of these things. I'm like, damn, my old computer would have just melted.
Oh God, bro. Oh God, I'll be the
Old
same
Hewlett
way.
Packard's a wrap.
No, I'll be sitting
That
there,
gateway.
bro. I will be sitting there on Logic and shit, and then I'll be trying to do some shit, and it'd be like system overload. I'm like, why the fuck? Hold on, now I look down. I'm like,
got
I got
like
Illustrator,
18.
After Effects. my fucking Chrome got 27 like tabs open. I'm like, oh yeah.
And like Apple, not to be on some nerd shit, but Apple has like a really elaborate like RAM partitioning situation to where like the program running in the foreground on Apple gets like 90% of your CPU power based on the way that
Yeah.
they like.
I mean, you would think it'd be asynchronous where they'd all just be running.
Well, that's the
It would
way
be.
that PC
Yeah.
typically runs. Is why it runs pretty shitty frequently.
Yeah. Dude, the funny thing is before Perry Annie up with the brand new Mac, we were trying to design like the first face value shit at his crib, and you could literally, he'd like open Illustrator, we could like drink a beer while that bitch was open. It was fucking crazy. He's like, I gotta import this shit. We might as well go do something.
It was, bro, like I would be making like
I'll be falling asleep in the chair. She's like, what's up?
I mean, you just like at a certain point, you're like, all right, I make sure to export my videos at like when I go to sleep.
I was literally gonna say it becomes part of your life for real. Like I would literally be making like little lyric videos and shit for like YouTube, and I'd do it, and I'd be like, all right, it's 11 o'clock. Let me export it. I get it in the morning.
Yeah, and like someone,
and then like I look at it, and a little part is wrong. I'm like, fuck.
It'd blow the fuck out of me. Like what's funny is like as the type of like artist that we are doing this shit on the computer all the time, it's just like, bro, when you have like the slightest thing go wrong in the file, and you're just like, all of my livelihood is based around my computer.
Facts.
100% of it. The music, the art, web design, everything that I do that makes me money is pretty much on the computer. So like, I've been trying to get like a 6K camera, and I had somebody offer me a red camera to work with. Ooh. And I had to turn it down because it was like, bro, my computer can't handle it. And even for me to handle it, I would have to like create all these proxies and like Premiere. And we were like, I wouldn't be able to use my computer for like 2 days. And that is just, there's no point in time where I cannot have a computer for
literally
2 days.
like
impossible.
2 weeks ago, I hit Jimmy up, and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to do this video, and this shit is not working, bro. He was like, all right, what are you shooting? And I looked, I was like, oh, I'm in 4K. My video.
Go fuck yourself.
I was like, fuck, he right. I was just shooting in
Suffering.
4K. Like, this shit got my computer going crazy right now.
That's
I
hilarious.
had mad effects on it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Freaked it. You're like, damn it. Freaked it. All right, Jimmy, before we get to a subject we got to touch on, is there anything you can think of you want to get off about the album? Let people know, any highs, lows. What was the highest point and lowest point, real quick, before we...
Highest point, lowest point. Man, that's a good question.
I mean, lowest point was me not getting my feature on that bitch, bro. I was going to go crazy.
I don't
I feel like the listening party was dope for real.
The listening party was dope.
I wish I could have made it, man.
Oh, it's all good, baby. Yeah. We're going to get some other shit off. I think
Good.
Perry and I got a show we're putting together and shit.
Tight.
Man, I don't know.
You looked high. I would say you looked high as hell that day. Not high as hell, but like on a high.
Oh, yeah.
It was, again, actually the like relief of like, you spend so much time putting it together, and then like your brain all the way up to the moment is just like, man, what if nobody comes?
I told you, bro.
Was it
like,
popping?
It's always like that. Whenever I learned this throwing college.
My daughters were in that bitch trapping that whole out.
Yeah, they was,
They
for
made
real.
name tags.
Go up.
They made name tags for everybody. Yo, tell me
Face value
these
after
girls.
dark.
These
They're
girls.
Hold on, I
What
got
if nobody
They
comes?
pulled up on me They pulled up on me in the booth with $50. I was like, what?
That's more than the album's going to make, man.
Saying, bro, they're going crazy.
That's fun.
But yeah, the high for me was definitely creating all these relationships.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's
man.
dope.
With the artists,
And I'll get you the verse, so we'll figure the low out. Don't
We'll
worry
figure
about
it out.
that. Take care of that.
And because with a lot of the people, I'm gonna do like additional projects and stuff.
Sick. Very tight.
That to me was like the main purpose of this project was it's my facilitator. It's
Yeah.
kind of like my introduction to Chicago and the like production side of things, because I spent a whole fucking decade being the artist.
Yeah, and that makes it the other side of the intention, where you're highlighting yourself as a producer.
Yeah.
Where now you do have this producer relationship with these artists.
Exactly. So it's just like the physical manifestation of that transition, you know what I mean? Because it was weird for me to like take a step back, because I was the fucking front man forever. But like I think like after spending the time to like develop a career and get to the point where I could like get offered a deal, you know, which I managed to make happen when I was doing my own shit and doing this project, Color Culture. Like, I moved to LA and did all that shit, you know what I mean? And at the time, my oldest daughter was like 9 months old, and I had to make a decision at that point of like, you know, do you want to really know your kids and see them walk and talk for the first time, or like, do you want to be on tour for the next 2 years? And that, like, staring down the barrel of like that dream, I had to like come to terms with the fact that my like priorities had changed. You know what
Yeah, I mean, sometimes your dream becomes not fully yours.
And you gotta make it fit you. You gotta make
People
it fit
don't
you.
always know what they're signing up for. You
A lot
know?
of times you gotta make
When
your dream fit you.
Yeah, like I try and tell people, like, you know, there's certain situations that like you can speculate and be like, oh, like if that happens, I'll do this. But it's like, nah. With the really big shit, you really don't know who you are until you're in the thick of it. You know what I mean? Like, even like the funny shit to think about is like, you know, like 6ix9ine and like dudes like that, you know, people that are like, I would never snitch, like, unless if you've really been in a situation where it's your life on the line or you snitch, you really, I promise you, do not know what the fuck you'll do.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to work in a cubicle 9 to 5 and then go home and watch TV, you never have to face that reality.
And it depends
So
if
your
you
opinion's
really
kind
have
of invalid.
Yeah, like,
I would
and if
never
you
give
really
it
have
up.
shit to-
Shit to give up.
Yeah, like when you really have shit to live for, you know what I mean? I think that like sometimes you realize that like your dream isn't exactly what you thought it was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like to me it's been cool to be a producer and like have the role of like, you know, I can make so much more art as a producer.
Yeah.
Like, you know, for me as myself, I can make like an album every year and get that shit off or do whatever. But like, you know, last year I like had my hands in like 10 projects. I produced like 100 songs, like before this project, you know what I mean? And like, even the ones I didn't produce, I mastered like another 50 or whatever. So like, I was definitely working, and like, it's super dope to like look back on the last year and be like, oh yeah, I started filming the pod. I filmed all these music videos. I put the shit together for him. And it's like, at the end of the day, this like huge fucking umbrella, and like we've all become close through the process, you know? And it's like, you know, you build a community based around what you're creating. And to me, like that is everything for me. That's all I ever really wanted, you know? Because all that fame shit is like fleeting and stupid and fucking temporary, but like the legacy is in just like really making something that like you believe in, you know what I mean?
Hell
and
yeah.
finding people that you like truly fuck with along the way.
We've definitely made like a nice little like, well, you have like made like a nice little creative collective, you know?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, again,
It's
y'all
beautiful.
put me onto so much of the pieces of this puzzle, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It
The
would,
feeling
it
is
would
mutual.
definitively
Ditto.
be a different project if I wasn't here with you guys, so.
Yeah, when you guys hear this next week, definitely check out No Coast everywhere. And I mean, keep the eye out.
Wait,
follow.
tell them about the cards too.
Oh yeah, true. Before we get out of here, we're
Yeah.
gonna be selling these on the website tomorrow when the album drops. But yeah, just you know, little interesting projects I wanted to put together. I made like rookie cards of everybody
So cool.
on the project, like the top style Fleer basketball cards. Them bitches go crazy. But yeah, man, I think that like you guys always talk about it, and we've talked about how like all the merch that people sell is like fucking t-shirts at this point.
Yeah.
And like I just wanted to make something that's like obscure but like nostalgic and kind of timeless, you know? And I
Yeah.
like thought of like weird shit that like Supreme does, of like, you know,
Yeah.
making like boxes of mac and cheese and shit.
Yeah,
But like
Supreme and Chanel put that shit on.
Yeah.
Making all the little
Like,
novelty
that's-
accessories.
That's fire though, because it's like this nostalgic feeling of like, you know, like a box of Pop-Tarts might seem like a silly thing for them to make, you know? And at the end of the day it
But
is,
it's like-
but like if it was like a special part of your childhood, for some reason that shit just
Yeah,
resonates
yo.
with you. And
Yeah,
I think
yo.
that's cool.
Straight up.
Yeah, unless y'all have a good idea, save the cotton, please. Brain dead. We're talking to you. Save the cotton. Save some fucking cotton, man. But we're not getting away from this real quick before we get out of here. We're talking about,
Brain dead, we're talking to you.
for real, save some fucking cotton. We don't need these collabs anymore. It's done. Keep doing the shoes. Those are hidden. We're talking about Brent Faiyaz's Wasteland. That shit dropped. We got to talk about it. There's a lot of mixed reviews.
Hey, low key,
I haven't heard.
I don't. Oh shit! I don't like that shit at all. I think that shit is trash for real.
I feel like you gotta say something to make that valid instead of just
that was
saying
a
it's trash.
shot glass.
We were talking about it in the group chat.
I mean, I just feel like it feels dry at this point because I just feel like he's writing the same song over and over.
Yeah, yo. And
But
I
then
feel,
you would like it because you initially liked
No,
Grand
but like-
Fire.
But
No,
we've
but-
already heard it.
I don't like it because of the.
It's very different from his first shit. I think that's very.
I
That's
don't like it.
invalid.
I think it feel lazy to me.
Really?
I feel like it sound unfinished at times.
I mean,
Damn, let me tap in.
I wouldn't. I honestly haven't been able to vibe with it enough to like tear into it. I would just say that when I tried to listen to it, it didn't like resonate with me to get like stuck on it.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing people do though. They hold people to the standard where everything he makes doesn't have to be like this is fucking amazing.
No, I don't
you
think it
know?
has to be
No,
amazing.
I just like I didn't like I did. You know when you like listen to a project and it's just not hitting for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I might go back on this later. Like, I might go back on it. It's only been out for a couple weeks or whatever. But like, I feel like that shit. I feel like this nigga like saw what the internet was trying to make him into. It was just like, all right, this is me now.
A little bit, but I think the last projects were more of what people said about him than he's putting out on this one. I think this one's a little more stripped down, honestly.
It's been a
the
while
songs are
since he
more
dropped, right?
overall digestible. He's not really getting his I'm super over the word toxic. I'm trying not to use that fucking word anymore.
that word is so
Nah,
trash.
man, I feel
So-
like-
But
But I
he's
feel
not
like-
even leaning like that hard into that with his subject matter.
yeah.
That's the thing. I think he is for real.
In, like,
I feel
what
he
instances,
leaning-
though?
I feel like he laid it all the way into it. I feel like you could pick any song on that shit and he just be like, I'm toxic.
I don't know. I just feel like there's
But not even because of that. It just feel lazy. It feel like if he was gonna do that right, he could have did it better. Like this nigga like Giveon putting records out right now, bro.
yeah, but comparing him to Giveon's so crazy. Giveon's a
they're
fucking
definitely
meticulously overproduced R&B singer.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, okay, but like in terms of like the type of like the subject matter of it.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
what I'm
sure.
talking about more,
But I think
like-
Giveon really wrote that new record about him going through like a breakup.
I know, and that's what I feel. That's what I feel like. I feel like Brent ain't. I feel like Brent. I don't know. I mean, I don't know this nigga life. It just did. I just did hit for me. It just did hit for me.
I don't think it's as good as his other shit, but I think he's been catching a lot of like harsh criticism. It's not a fucking like terrible album, you know. I think people just you like an artist and you expect something, you don't really get it, and you're like, oh, this sucks. But if that would have been his first offering,
But that's
you'd probably be like, oh, Brent's kind of
yeah.
decent.
I mean, I still fuck with Brent. Like,
Yeah.
Like
I think Joe Budden
everything-
swung hella people's opinion, which is fucking crazy.
Nah, because I mean, nah.
He
like, I-
roasted it or what?
Yeah, he
just, like,
definitely
burned
roasted
it down.
But like, I had felt that.
Ah,
mean,
who
you
cares
know
about
Joe
his opinion?
I felt that way when I first heard it too.
At the end of the day, regardless of who Joe Budden is, he knows way, way more than any of us about R&B at this table. Like, he's a R&B nerd. Like that dude's R&B knowledge is vast. So his opinion can't be negated, but it's also not something that no one's opinion should ever sway your
I mean, it's
opinion.
not for the first because I already felt that way.
Yeah,
I
that's
heard
a
it.
crazy concept to me.
I heard. And
That's
I was
very
just
real.
like-
That's what influencers are, dog. They sway people's opinion about products.
When I first heard it, I was just like, I don't know, man. It just wasn't hitting. I just didn't resonate with me.
I'm gonna give it a chance.
Definitely give it a chance. It's not bad. It's just not. It's not great. But I don't remember the last album. I was like, this is fucking great.
Yeah.
You know, like a body of work. Not one song or 3 songs off of it. Where I was like, this whole body of work is
Donda.
fucking amazing. Donda?
Donda.
The whole body of work.
100%.
The last thing.
Did you make a playlist of Off the Grid 30 times or some
No,
shit?
I'll say with 100%
Vori was
certainty,
Vori. That is
I fucking
almost
loved
a perfect
every
album.
song on that album.
For real.
That Vori?
I love every
Oh,
song.
Oh, we've moved on
on
from Donda. That was
Oh, Vori? The Vori shit's hard. Yeah.
That Vori was great.
so good. So good. That shit, overall, it's a great album.
I like the shit I've heard off of it for sure.
Yeah. It's crazy because he's got writer credits for Drake and shit, doesn't he?
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I mean, he's very good at songwriting. But yeah, 156, man. Jimmy, thank you so much for switching sides.
you.
Yeah.
Evan, thank you for getting
My boy.
all your new
Thank you
roles.
for everything you do,
Vino.
baby.
100%.
Hell yeah. Thank y'all for listening.